All right, stick it out and get your reward. Good day, everyone. It's great to see all your smiling faces, and it was really awesome to meet many of you in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. And I'm looking forward to meeting many more of you in October. So hopefully, all of you can join us. I hope you don't mind that I join you for a few minutes today, just a couple of minutes with some quick announcements. If you haven't already, please be sure you book your one-on-one coaching session for the first quarter. They're limited spaces. We're going to be cutting it off soon, cutting off the sign up soon. So you don't want to forfeit your first and fourth coaching sessions. So I'm going to post the link here if you want to go ahead and book, if you haven't already. Let's see what's going to, we'd also love to hear your feedback about your coaching sessions if you've had your coaching sessions already. Hey, Mary Rose. Please email me at support@goprocertified.com and I would love to have your feedback. So, anyway, how did your day one of the Sales and Recruiting Challenge go? Now, if you completed day one, put a one in the chat. Let's see those ones in there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, put a zero in the chat, okay? It's okay. We're just getting started. The challenge is a key component of the mentorship program. So it's going to help you integrate what you learned during the curriculum training, during the sales and recruiting mastery. So it's designed to bring results, bottom line. So this quarter, we're doing the 14-day GoPro Sales and Recruiting Challenge. It's a daily action challenge that revolves around 7 simple daily tests. So check your email for details or go to the sidebar on your portal and just look on the side and you'll find where it says challenges. Now, the last step is to post your challenge updates and communities on your portal. And if you can't find it, just go ahead and look on that sidebar. Everything is on the sidebar. Just look for communities. And there's one there for mentorship. And just go ahead and celebrate your wins, share your lessons that you've learned, and stay connected with others in the challenge. Okay, this is really, we want to get you all guys engaged and connected. So you can find details in the program in the several emails that have been sent out, and then you can also go to your portal, go to the left-hand side to the sidebar where you can find everything and look for challenges. So who's stepping up and taking on the 14-day GoPro Sales and Recruiting Challenge? Put a 10 in the chat. Let's put some big 10s in the chat, okay? Excited to see that. All right. Now it's my honor to introduce you to someone you already know as your mindset coach, Coach Gill, who's going to share with you the value of a no. Please give him a welcome. Welcome, Coach Gill. It's all yours.
Thank you. I just noticed that Beverly there is on the beach. So can we all just meet up with Beverly and do this on the beach with her? Because that looks like a great place to have a call, right? But Martha, I can see we're down in the grass here. This is a Bug's Life with you. So maybe we can go down to the Bug's Life zone too. That would be fun. But no, welcome back, everybody. I am honored to get to be here with all of you amazing people. Really, what an honor it is, because you are the business builders. You're making the impact. I want to know how many of you join network marketing because of the potential of financial independence. Show a hand, 2 hands. Woo woo, Mary, yes. All right, Gwyneth, yes, see you there. Yes, beautiful. Financial independence. Gil, you look fabulous. I've never seen you without a cap. Yeah, I forgot my hat today, so thank you for the compliment. Oh, good. Yeah, so you're going to see my shiny head here today. But financial independence. Just out of curiosity, too, how many of you have already heard the presentation on the value of a no from your business? Say, I. Now, I'm going to contrast this today. I hope I'm going to share something that maybe you haven't considered when it comes to the value of a no. Typically, the sales presentations that I've heard are for sales reps. How many of you are a sales rep? Oh, look at that. No hands. How many of you are business owners? There we go. We're not sales reps. We're business builders. We're the profession of Shine On Gil. Oh, boy. We're business builders, we're professionals. But the sales presentation on the value of a no is how many no's does it take to get to a yes, right? So typically, network marketing, everybody knows, it's industry standard to say about 1 in 10 say yes. So if I were giving you a sales presentation, I'm going to ask you, how much money do you make on a yes? Let's say it's $100 as an example. Well, if you need to talk to 10 people to make $100, well, then that means you make $10 for a no. How many of you would be motivated by making $10 to get a no? Okay, Jack, I saw a finger go up there. It's a couple of you, $10. Me personally, I'd rather forego the $10 and avoid the no. Right? Yeah, you can keep your $10, but now, granted, $10 adds up. You know, you give me 500 of those, and I've got $5,000. But how many of you would feel it's a whole lot more motivating to make $100 per no? Yeah. How about $1,000 per no? $1,000 per no. That's what I'm hoping to share with you today, a perspective where you can see that a no is worth $1,000. If you knew with certainty that a no was going to put $1,000 into your 10-year retirement fund, how many presentations would you give tonight, let alone tomorrow, but tonight? For every single presentation I give, I'm going to put $1,000 into my retirement fund, 10-year retirement fund. How many of you, excuse me, how many of you anticipate being in network marketing for another 10 years? No? Okay, so I'm here for financial independence. I'm probably going to be here for 10 years. I mean, if you make $100 million in 5 years, are you going to be here years 6 through 10, or are you just going to go enjoy your $100 million after that? Hard to say. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? But financial independence. Type in the notes here, at a minimum, how much is financial independence to you annually? At a minimum, right? I mean, it's not $100 million, right? It's not even necessarily $1 million. Maybe for you it is, but at a minimum, what is financial independence for you? How much does that equate to? Oh, I need to scroll down and see some of these. I see 1,000,000, 250,000, a lot of 250s, 175, at a minimum, 77,000, 60,000. Good. I like the realistic and I like the aggressive. Both are good. 50,000 passive. Okay. So we've joined network marketing. We've joined this company. We've joined this business because we believe financial independence is available, right? If it wasn't available, then what is available? Well, don't worry. I'll give you $10 an hour. No, I'm not joining. I can make $10 an hour anywhere. I'll give you $50 an hour. Even so, it's another job. How much effort's required? I don't know. But financial independence, okay. Now, combined with financial independence, you've also joined a business that has a product or a service that you can get behind. Raise your hand if you feel that way about your company. Yeah? You can get behind your product or your business or your service, so therefore you believe in what you've got. And that's part of why you've joined the company. If you didn't really believe in it or you couldn't really get behind it, you probably were really hesitant about joining, right? But a big part of this, I have a valuable product or service that I can share. I can get behind this and I can make financial independence in this company. Okay. So I'm going to share some fuzzy math. Fuzzy math, meaning, yeah, okay, I kind of see that. But I'm going to say it's legitimate fuzzy math. I know in order to hit these kind of numbers, there's a lot of variables involved. There's so many different comp plans, right? On one hand, I've got to hit personal volume. How many have personal volume requirements in order to rank up? Yeah. And how many of you have team volume requirements in order to rank up? Yeah. And how many of you have the requirement of helping your downline rank up. So there's levels of so many people in my downline. I have to get up to that next level in order to rank up. So with all of these variables, I get it. There's a lot of room to go into different directions, but I'm going to focus in on one direction. One direction is recruiting business builders. Arguably, I think this is the number one reason that we're going to get to these kinds of numbers of financial independence. Yes, we still need to do the volume, but it would be a big challenge to hit financial independence just collecting commissions on selling my product or service, right? How many of you feel the same way? It would be harder to do it just by collecting commissions on selling the product or the service. So the number one necessity in network marketing, in my opinion, I'm just going to share this as my opinion, is building my business, recruiting people, promoting them, getting people built. So if that's the number one factor, what rank in your company is making the kind of money that you've just typed in the notes here for financial independence? What rank is required to hit these numbers? I've had so many people in one-on-one say, I'm not really sure. If you're serious about financial independence, you want to know exactly where the target is, right? And because there's so many different ways, look at this, 3-star, 5-star, 6-star, presidential, premium, diamond. I love all these names. Premium, the supreme diamond, the greatest of the best of the best. Third level from the top, PMD, director, diamond. Yeah, so when you know the rank, here's my recommendation. Find a way to find out how many people someone in that rank personally recruited as business builders. How many people, I don't know, you've got some people that come and go, you've got some people that did it quickly, you've got some people that took forever. So if you can ask, let's say 5 people in that rank, I know that's not likely for a lot of you, but for some of you, find out. See if you can find out the average number of people that somebody at that rank personally recruited. Now, if you already know this, or if you have a really good guess, type it in the notes. How many people at that rank were personally recruited? So let's just use the word diamond. A diamond. Okay, Leone, 210. Remy, you only need 10 people. You're going to love this conversation, Remy. Less than 100, 200, 80. Keep these coming. Hundreds. Okay, that's 100. That's 900. Minimum of 20, average personal 12. 250. 250 seems the highest. 188, very specific. 9 personal recruits. Okay, so if that's what it takes, on average, to get to this rank, 50 to 100, I'm going to use 100 as a round number. How many people does it take to get a yes in network marketing? Share what you know from your own experience and share also what they say. We all know they say 10. 10. Anita and Rafael, 4. Nice. 20, 10, 10. Yeah. Industry standard says 10. Yeah, industry average. Industry average, 10 people. There are some people, I had a couple that I was working with a couple of years ago that were here in GoPro, and that couple told me that they were recruiting 9 out of 10 people into the business. 9 out of 10 people. They were at a Ferrari race out on some track, up in the box, all dressed up in their digs, looking, I mean, they were looking good, and they did a live video saying, this is how we spend our days in our network marketing business. We're up here watching the Ferrari races in the box and, eating their hors d'oeuvres and sharing their business with other people. They were just living their life of their dreams. But when you're the walking ambassador of it, it's a lot easier to be influential with other people, right? And I think that's the avenue that they were taking. But still, 9 out of 10? I've never heard that anywhere else. 9 out of 10 people. But if we did take 1 out of 10 people, let's say I saw a lot of 250,000s in here. You can use your own numbers. I'm going to have you take some notes and write some things down here. If you've got the number that is financial independence for you, I'm going to use 250,000, and you multiply how many people were personally recruited by the average person in that rank, multiply that by 10. So if it's 100 people that it took to hit this rank to make 250,000, then that means that person most likely gave, law of averages, 1,000 presentations. Raise your hand if you follow me. Yeah? So if it takes 1,000 presentations to make $250,000 a year, do the math. How much money is that per presentation? If you said $250, you're right. Nobody typed in a number. All these math challenges, right? Come on, Gil, you're giving me too many numbers here. Yeah, $250 per presentation. If it costs you 1,000 presentations to make $250,000 a year, remember, how long are you going to be in network marketing? Probably another 10 years. Yeah. So if I'm going to be here 10 years making just that money, that minimum, $250,000, that's $2.5 million, right? By a raise of hands, is it going to be easier to sustain it or to get there? Wait, not by a raise of hands. Type it in. If you're making $250,000 a year, do you think you can get better than, easier to sustain? Somebody says easier to get there. Somebody, get there, sustain. If you're making $250,000 a year and you need to recruit 1 out of 10 people, can you, and I'm not suggesting you do this, but can you just show your paycheck and say, come on, right? Come on, look, I'll help you, right? And what's your mood like when you're making $250,000 a year? Are you in a better mood than when you're hungry and trying to get there? Right? Joyful, high. Yeah, it does still take effort, no doubt about it. But if you're pulling in this kind of money, that, wow, watch that cat, Mary. Wow. She just got attacked. If you're making that kind of money, your mood is better, you're feeling more fulfilled, feeling more rewarded. So factor that $250,000 by 10 years, $2.5 million is on the line based on 1,000 presentations. So multiply your $250 that you make per no by 10 years. Yeah? A no can be worth $2,500 for a full presentation. Yeah? Now, I'm not saying this is going to be cut in stone and consider it to be a fact. No? I'm just saying this is a perspective worth considering, because the number one reason we don't go out and promote with more enthusiasm more consistently is because we don't like no's, right? I don't want to be rejected. Fear of rejection, raise your hand, right? Got that going on? I don't like no's. Why? Because no's are bad. Are they? See, a sales rep is concerned with yeses and nos. How many sales reps? How many business owners? A sales rep is concerned with yeses and nos. What's a business owner concerned with? Giving presentations. Are you going to be better after you've given 100 presentations in a short amount of time? How about 500? So halfway there. I need to give 1,000 presentations. Am I going to be better at giving my presentation when I've given 500 of these? So if you're getting better, wouldn't we consider you'd start being one of the people that move the average up from 1 out of 10 to maybe 2 out of 10? I think it's very likely. If you can be, is it possible? You know what, let's say this. How many of you are experiencing about 1 out of 10 right now? Yeah? Hands, hands. All right? So if you're experiencing about 1 out of 10, if you were better at your presentation, do you think 2 out of 10 is a realistic target? Yeah, that's 1 out of 5 people. If you believe in your product or your service, and you already said, I'll do it because I could achieve financial independence, and don't get me wrong, it's a great product. Many of you, your product is not just a great value, it's also a game changer in your health, right? So I can help so many people feel so much better. I can alleviate so much suffering. Yeah? But if you got 2 out of 10, then let's come back to that 1 year, $250,000. If I'm getting 2 out of 10, now a no is worth $500. And what if I'm only at this for 2 years? It's easier to sustain it than to get there with your mood and your paychecks, right? Your mood and your paychecks are going to make it easier to sustain. Granted, I get it. You're still going to have to do the work. But is it harder to do the work when you're struggling to make $1,000 a month than when you're struggling to make $10,000 a month? Which way is harder to do the work? I mean, at $1,000 a month, you're starting to come back to that, well, $10 a no, I'd rather just go to coffee with a friend, right? So this is a fantastic way to consider a completely different perspective on the value of a no. Yeah? And I'm not telling you a no is worth $250. A no is worth $500. What I'm showing you is if you're serious about financial independence, that's not going to happen by giving 100 presentations, right? For many of you, some of you, that might be possible, especially if I'm converting 9 out of 10 people, right? 100 presentations might actually do it. But we want to be conservative because one of the hard parts in network marketing is not knowing what I need to do in order to make that kind of money. I don't know. If I came to you on the street and said, hey, I'm involved in a network marketing business. I know, but just hear me out. I'm involved in a network marketing business, and it puts $250 in my 10-year retirement fund when I get a no. If I could show that to you and prove that to you, would that be a business you'd be interested in considering? They know nothing except $250 per no. How many of you would sign up right now if you got $250 per no, right? So if my presentation gets better and I can go from 1 out of 10 to 2 out of 10, if I could double my onboarding rate by saying, look, you make $250 a no, isn't that practical and realistic that I could double it again? Let's just say 3 out of 10, not even go to 4. All of this, I know it's fuzzy math, but consider it in your mind. It's a perspective, it's a point of view, it's a different way to look at the no. You fundamentally, number one requirement to get to financial independence, you've got to give presentations. You've got to recruit people. No questions asked. You've got to do this. Number one reason why we're not doing it is we're avoiding pain. What's the pain that I'm avoiding? Fear of rejection. I don't want to be pushy. We talked about pushy and persistent before. Lots of different things here, but guys, I can show you how a no is worth $5,000. Why wouldn't you want to know that? I mean, again, I'm not going to write it in stone. Every no you get is getting $5,000, but I can show you a point of view that's legitimate where a no is worth $5,000, but it's contingent upon you giving that number of presentations. Is it 1,000 presentations? Is it 500 presentations? Keep in mind, let's say it were 1,000 presentations required. That doesn't mean 1,000 one-on-ones. That could mean 100 presentations to 10 people. All of a sudden, that feels a bit more realistic and approachable, right? 100 presentations. Now, another thought is going to be 1,000 presentations. I can't do that in 1 year. I mean, that's almost 3 presentations a day. Okay. How many of you signed up for network marketing because you were absolutely convinced that you were going to make financial independence in 1 year? 2 years? 3 years? Hands going up? 3 years. All right, what if it does take you 3 years to give 1,000 presentations? So be it. Could it be done in a year? Yeah, but thinking like a business owner is not thinking in terms of yeses and nos. It's thinking in terms of giving presentations and getting better at giving presentations. So this is something I really want to go so much further with, but I have to leave it here and open it up for some questions before Chili is going to come back on and wrap us up today. But who's got some comments or some questions that we can go further with? Please type them in the chat. Hi, Gil. In everyday life, we sell everything. And every time we open our mouths, I believe my service 1000x. I believe in my service 1000x. My biggest challenge to overcome is that I am perceived as a salesperson, even when I try to build relationships. And therefore, my moment to improve is before the sale. I'm trying to apply your previous lesson, and I love it because they stimulate me to be even more motivated. I would like to have a call with you. Reach out. Chili just put a comment or a sign-up sheet in here. My calendar is so full, but there's still room. I'm just saying, it's busy. So if there's room, come on in. We've been having some great conversations in these one-on-ones. So yeah, doing the work before I go out, pushy versus persistent. It's okay to be pushy if it's professional. What is professional pushiness? It's I'm confident this is going to be a benefit to you, right? Don't give me your excuses. Come on, look at what I'm saying, right? Have some fun in being persistent if you really have a value to present. If that value you're presenting is more for you, then yes, you're going to be concerned about being pushy. I use a 100 chart to cross off each video link I send. I highlight those whom I close in green, and the no's are red. The visual makes it like a game. Yeah, I agree. When I say 1,000 presentations, I would encourage you to make a checkbox list that has 1,000 boxes on it. Just start checking them off, because by the time you hit that final 1,000th presentation, you should expect here is where I get my financial independence, right? I'm not going to expect financial independence way back here. I need to get to the bottom of the list, right? So if I know for sure what's required of me, I can get on board with that. When I don't know for sure what's required, I just feel like there's this endless supply of responsibilities, and how much longer is it going to take, and what do I really need to do? For me, it's not as much the presentations, it's the inviting skill of asking, inviting, and having them show up. My fear is in inviting that I'll lose the friendship. Again, this is where we want to be surrendered. Remember our 5-step formula that we talked about in the very beginning. Here's what I don't want to be feeling. Here's what I do want to be feeling, and my goal. Starve what I don't want, feed what I do want, and then surrender or be patient. Surrender and be patient. That's the formula to accomplish anything faster and easier. If you haven't heard that yet, go back and listen to some of the recordings previously. There's a lot of value in that. But we've got to surrender and be patient. Know when I'm being pushy, but again, being persistent has a strength to it if you really believe in that service. And if it costs you a friend for being in their best interests, is that really your friend? If it costs you a friend when you're in their best interest, what you're doing, what you're presenting, what you're volunteering, what you're sharing, if they bail, is that really a friend? If it really is, stand behind it. Stand behind it. I'd love to spend more time. I know I'm out of time. Chili is always going to say, come on, Gil, that clock's ticking. But I'll turn it back over to you, Chili. Thank you.
All right. Let's give Gail some love. Let's put some love hearts in the chat. I love that perspective about how no's can make you money, Gail. That's really a great frame. Thank you so much for being here and always for sharing and giving so many insights. All right, you guys, it's day 2 of the challenge. For some of you, like if you're on the West Coast with me, the day is just kind of starting. If you're in another part of the world, day 2 is almost over. So how many of those 7 simple steps have you completed? So go ahead and get going with the challenge and join us on Friday. Coach Holly's going to be back talking about some skills. She's going to talk about how to handle objections professionally. So join us on Friday, but just go ahead and check in right in the communities on your portal about how your challenge is going. Okay, great. Thanks to you guys. Have a great rest of the week, and thank you, Coach Gill. Yay!